Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, as you can see from the title, we are going to talk about, or I am going to talk about, energetical and spiritual literacy, more energetical literacy, and why it's so vital. It's so important, especially nowadays, to have energetical literacy, especially as a woman. But I feel like it's really for everyone, because as I said in my video Swimming in the Mud, each one of us has a energetical womb, right? And the energetical womb is your sacred space when you store and you cultivate life, right? And you can decide what you want to be there, right? You can decide. You are the captain of your womb, of your energetical womb. And so, with that being said, what does it mean to have energetical literacy? It means to, basically it means to have discernment, right? But, I like the energetical literacy more because I feel like, I don't know, I just like to use that term or to describe it that way. It's basically training yourself to become really, really connected to your bodily sensations, to what your gut is trying to tell you, to your feelings, to your tension, everything, and all of the energy that is moving into your light body or into your physical, emotional body. You need to become aware of what is that about, And unfortunately, we do not. Sorry guys, I'm gonna close the door. Saying, so we are not raised in a society that actually emphasize the importance of connecting to our spiritual side. Like, they don't teach this stuff in school. They do not teach us how to connect to the elements, how to connect to the earth, to the trees, how to connect to your psychic abilities and things like that. So that's a crime, by the way. So we need to learn this by ourselves, because I also think that it's obvious that if we are not raised in a society that teaches us that our feminine side is viable, then obviously there are people that say, oh, being a woman is nice, but I hate my period. And it disgusts me even to say this. Like, how can this be normalized to actually, and I'm getting emotional because I'm in my luteal phase, okay? So I'm very emotional, but how can we normalize those things? Like hating our body, hating our cycle, which is, man. Wait a second. How can we hate our menstrual cycle? Hating our menstrual cycle is hating womanhood, is hating, you know, our feminine like energy, you know, our spiritual gift as a woman, you know, like when you are on your period, you are actually more connected to the spiritual realm, right? And that's a freaking, like, you need to realize how much value there is in being able to actually connect that deeper. And, you know, hating your cycle because, you know, it hurts when you get periods is basically hating the fact that your body naturally has this energetical literacy that, you know, women are so connected to, because women, you know, are more connected to the spiritual realm, to the subconscious, right? So hating on your period means, you know, hating on your power. And if you get, you know, period pain, it's just your body trying to tell you something. And maybe if we were raised in a society that actually teaches us to have energetical literacy, you would be aware instantly of what it is, right? Because if you are numb, if you grew up in a society that made you numb, of course you get pain and you're like, oh, I have pain, and you don't even know where to start or what is it about. You cannot link it to something else because they want you numb and they want you to freaking get birth control or something like that. Bro, when you actually connect to yourself, and let's say there is a painful sensation in a specific part of your body, if you have trained yourself to build a relationship with your energy, with your spirit, with your sensations, you will know exactly what it is. You will know exactly in which situation you gave your power away. You will know exactly the situation that overwhelmed you. And your body is just divinely trying to communicate that to you, because it's trying to tell you, hey, this shit needs to go, you know? Your body is trying to tell you, hey, like, you are giving your power away in this situation. That's why now it freaking hurts. And you're like, oh, this freaking pain, I hate being a woman, instead of fucking listening to it. Okay, let's get on birth control or whatever, which, you know, everyone does. I'm not like against birth control. I'm just really angry because you know, no one because we don't have so many tools on how to handle those things. So I'm just angry, but I'm sorry, like, I don't mean to say like if you're on birth control you are evil or you should be ashamed of that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, it's very understandable. However, I feel like the first time I actually felt like really, really, really beyond imagination connected to, you know, the energy of the earth and the potency of the earth was when I was in New Zealand. And it's interesting that in astrocartography, New Zealand is exactly on my moon line, and the moon represents the mother, right? So when I was in New Zealand, I felt like this extreme connection to the land that was really, really inexplicable, and a lot of things that happened while I was in there were like so potent. I'm sorry if I'm so emotional today, but they were so potent that, you know, it's just, I cannot even explain it, you know. And sometimes when I share some stories, people are like, you know, they don't believe me or something like that. But let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry that you never felt that. Yeah, but maybe I'm gonna share more of these in another video. But anyways, and while I was in there, it's interesting also because before going to New Zealand, when I was in Finland, I was a red moon cycle, which means I was getting my period on full moons. And then even before, like in the transition, even before I got to, you know, I got to the flight, my period started to switch to a new moon cycle, which is when you get your period on new moons. And let me tell you something, like the new moon cycle is much more feminine, like at least how I experienced it. Let me know your experience in the comments, but how I experienced it, like the new moon cycle, it's like you're 100 times more receptive. And that's why I needed so much time alone. Like when I was on my red moon cycle, maybe I was still going out or meeting my friends, and I wouldn't be, or like I was still like a little bit more in a masculine mode, like just in the way that I was maybe more doing more things and stuff like that. But when I was in a white moon cycle, it was just totally different experience, right? And I like when you're so receptive, you have this like direct contact. You have this direct contact with your subconscious mind. It's almost like you become your subconscious mind, and from that place you are able to really lead your life, right? Because everything that we experience, in my opinion, is our subconscious mind. Even dreaming, in my opinion, like what's the difference between dreaming and being alive? Like in dream, like I feel like it's all our subconscious mind, but this is for another video. But anyways, and so when you have the direct link and connection to your subconscious mind, is really, really, really important to have energetical literacy, to then have energetical boundaries. Because if you're not literate on how does this feel, what is that about, is that true, what is this energy about, how do I feel about that, if you don't know, then you're gonna let everything in because you're disconnected, and that's gonna interfere with your creation, right? So it's very important to be really, really aware. And actually I had this experience again when I was in New Zealand, and so I had this experience when I was in New Zealand again and I was watching a TV show, and then in the end, you know, I realized, man, this TV show is growing because of my attention. And actually in the end, I realized, man, I didn't want my currency to go in that energy, right? I didn't want my fuel, my creative energy to go in there. And so in that moment I realized how, you know, if you're really, when you're connected to your subconscious mind, to your divine feminine, you are really powerful. You can grow everything. And again, why do we say pay attention to me? It's not that we are like getting our wallet and paying money. No, we are paying with our attention. We are paying with our focus, because our focus, especially as women, as in like our feminine, is life force. We are paying with life force. In that moment I realized, man, like my ability for discernment while I was there was high, really high. And then it faded away again when I went back to New Zealand, but it's all went back to Finland, now in Macedonia. But anyways, it's always a practice, right? It's always a practice to be in connection. But yeah, like I feel like it was really like the white moon cycle for me was really potent. And my goal for the next year, or as soon as I can, is to get back in a state when I can have a white moon cycle, because obviously like I need to be really relaxed to have, like, to be in that state, and really, you know, stable, and maybe have my own apartment and things like that, so that I can have a safe space where I can be in that, you know, powerful state. Anyways, another reason why it's so important to have energetical literacy and discernment. Again, as I said before with the TV show, when you go on Instagram, when you walk in the street and there are a billion billboards and there are a lot of people around you, and you know, people try emailing you, messaging you, like, you know, there's a lot of information nowadays. There's a lot of information that is going like really fast, and everything is trying to get into your subconscious mind, right? So you need to really be aware beyond what something looks like. Again, this TV show that I watched, you know, it wasn't really the storyline. It wasn't really like how it was made, but some kind of energy behind it. I felt like it was something that I was really repelled by it. And again, you can feel the energy only if you're actually connected to yourself. Because, you know, sometimes things can look good on paper, but then you feel a type of way about it, and there's always a reason. You know what I mean? There's always a reason why your intuition or your gut feeling is telling you like this isn't right. And we are trained to abandon ourselves in that moment. We are trained that, you know, we should analyze everything with our rational mind. We are trained to, you know, just dishonor our gift, our feminine gift. And we will absolutely not do it, right? We will absolutely not do it. And always, always, always trust that energy, that feeling that is saying, this feels wrong, you know? Because you want to grow things that are going to nurture you, nurture your family, nurture your community, right? You want to grow things that are actually in alignment with who you truly are and the world that you're trying to build. That's why it's important, right? To really be aware of, okay, what kind of vibe am I feeling into this? What is really going on? Is it something that deserves my focus? Is it something that deserves my currency, which is my attention? Is it something that deserves my life force, my power? So, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, we have been, you know, raised in a way that made us feel numb. Like, look at all of the, you know, look at the world, like, look at how the mainstream operates. Of course people feel numb. Of course people get a lot of pain when they are on their periods. Of course people are lost. It makes sense, right? It makes sense, but you know, we can start from today. As I say every time, we can start from today and we can forget about it. You know, what's been happening, what has happened in the past has happened, that's gone. What future do we want to create now? You know, where do we want to go? What do we want to grow and cultivate within ourselves right now? What energy do we want to allow to enter our space, to enter our sacred garden, our energetical womb? What world do we want to create? What is something that we have been tolerating till a minute ago, and now we decide, okay, it's done. I'm done blindly signing this numbness contract. I'm done not feeling the grief and the rage. Of this insanity. I'm done. And from now on, things are gonna be different. And you're gonna feel my rage, and you're gonna feel, you know, my power, right? So very, very important, energetical and spiritual boundaries, right? Connect, honor your femininity, honor your subconscious mind, honor your connection to God, your connection to the truth, because that's what it is. Being on your period is just, you're more connected to the truth. And it's your choice if you want to ignore it or if you want to do something about it. If you want to feel it and you want to use that charge and that power to actually create, to transform, to alchemize the pain into something that can actually pour into the world, yeah. That can actually, you know, nurture and nourish yourself and your own world. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and also check out my Instagram page, bro. I put so much effort into it, so please check it out, and I'll see you in the next video.